Please help me welcome to the stage with a strong standing ovation for the rockstar ladies of Imagine Goods.
Hi, we are Michelle and Ayana, and we are Imagine Goods Sustainable Supply Company. 10 years ago, I traveled to Cambodia for the very first time. On that first trip, I saw a 2-year-old boy who had been sold for $72 and had just been rescued. I had a 2-year-old at home. I have always believed that with new knowledge comes new responsibility. And on that first trip, I had new knowledge, and my whole world shifted. So Ayana and I continued traveling to Cambodia. We started a nonprofit working to raise funds for organizations that were working with survivors of trafficking. But as we continued traveling and talking with and listening to our in-country partners, we kept hearing the same thing over and over again. Jobs, besides returning to a brothel or begging on the street, just were not available for survivors. At the same time, we were learning so much about how the way we shop affects the lives of those who make our product. And quite simply, we wanted some more ethical options. So we went back to what our in-country partners had been telling us that they needed. And we stopped the nonprofit, and we started a business employing survivors with jobs. We started making all kinds of fun things, home goods and accessories and clothing, like what we're wearing tonight. All items that are beautiful, compelling, and affordable. So for 5 years now, we've been working in Cambodia, and we've been empowering survivors through employment. Our artisans at our in-country employment center receive a thriving wage and so much more. They have on-site daycare, they have health care, mental health care, they have continuing education, as well as a fun family-style lunch that they enjoy together. This makes a drastic difference in the life of an entire family. Now a child is not growing up in a brothel or on a street, but instead on a safe on-site daycare next to an empowered and an employed mom.
Here's the thing. Every time Michelle and I travel to Cambodia, we see that there are more survivors who have received job training who are on a waiting list for the employment center, and we want to create more jobs. So how do we create more jobs? That's the question Michelle and I asked ourselves last January when we sat down to look at our impact from 2017. With the help of some fantastic business advisors here at the Women's Business Center at Assets and Work Wisdom, we did an in-depth review of our business model and strategy for growth, and we realized a few things. Number one, after 5 years of learning the ins and outs of the business, our production processes and quality control have been honed to excellence. Number two, our artisans are ready for and asking for more complex and challenging patterns. And number three, our market research has shown that there's a growing demand for ethically made, higher-end clothing. These three things point to this idea. We have what we need to branch out into a more upscale market that can bring higher profit margins, which in turn will mean that we can grow production and employ more survivors. So we're going to be launching a new line with a new name, but I'll get to that in just a minute. We're going to continue making the Imagine Goods products that our current customers know and love, but the new line will have all new branding, new marketing, and a different targeted demographic. We'll be selling exclusively wholesale to boutiques, and we'll be taking pre-orders for sales rather than building an inventory of goods, which will mean much lower startup costs. We'll be using fair trade certified textiles made by a community-owned cooperative of weavers in Cambodia with whom we've been working for the past 6 years. They make such beautiful fabrics that they've been ordered by couture houses in France, so we know they'll be perfect for the kind of customer who cares about luxury as well as social impact. We are super excited about our plans to become fair trade and B Corp certified within the next 3 years, and we feel confident that Imagine Goods will continue to make an impact toward the UN Sustainable Development Goals, specifically number 5 by empowering women, and number 8 by creating sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Our goods are currently in 9 boutiques around the country, and we're looking forward to expanding to more using a targeted database that we custom built this year. Within 1 year, we anticipate that we'll have everything we need to get into some of the bigger juried trade shows, which is where exponential exposure and growth really happen, allowing us to hit some of our goals, one of which is in a couple of years start to employ local survivors in our warehouse here, and in 5 years to hit our minimum targeted sales of about $250,000. Philomela was a woman in Greek mythology who was sexually assaulted and had her tongue cut out in an effort to keep quiet. So Philomela wove a tapestry depicting the story of what had happened and presented it to the gods in a request for justice. The gods granted her request and turned Philomela into a bird so that she could fly away, and Philomela will be the name of our new line.
We know that Imagine Goods is making a difference in the lives right now of survivors. Will you join us? Will you vote tonight to empower more survivors? And will you vote each day with your wallet and the way you shop? Thank you.